Hey, welcome to our next session. So today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite topics and something that I do harp on about a lot, and that is your ideal client. Now, there's a proviso before we start. I find that people get so concerned about this because I harp on it about so much, because it is really important that they don't pick something. They don't pick someone. So when I'm talking about your ideal client, and obviously I'm going to be talking about that a lot in just a moment, I want you to remember that something is better than nothing, and that at the beginning, everything is just a case of try it out, see if it fits. If it doesn't, tweak it, try it out, see if it fits, and so on, right? Okay, so ideal clients, target markets, these or avatars, these are all words you'll hear thrown around when it comes to marketing for your business. The reason why they're so valuable is because you only have a limited marketing budget, and obviously you have a limited amount of time and effort that you want to be putting into your marketing. So you want to be strategic and leveraged. Okay, so your target market needs to be, like I always say, my ideal client loves what I do. They love how I do it. They totally want to pay the price, whatever price I put on it. They tell everyone about me, and they, are just really fun and energized for me to work with, right? So they tick all of the boxes that make my life a dream. And that's what you're looking for. You might be looking for, at the end of the day, someone who will pay the bill. Me, if it's an ideal client, I want them to tick everything. And so that's what I'm going to be aiming for whenever I do my marketing. Okay, so the other thing is that there's going to be heaps and heaps of people that don't satisfy that criteria clearly. Now, that's a good thing. Knowing who you don't want to work with and who doesn't want you is just as valuable as knowing who you do want and who wants you. So being okay with that. There are literally millions of people on this planet, and at the end of the day, depending on what sort of service you are offering, you may only need a handful of those. Or if you've got a high turnover service that you offer, maybe you need 100 of those, whatever it might be. It's not millions. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be millions. So be okay with the fact that when you start narrowing things down and targeting a specific type of person, that's okay. Now, I know a lot of people freak out when they think, okay, yeah, I'm not targeting to people in Tanzania. So, I am narrowing it down. I'm trying to only target people who are running a small to medium business in Australia, females who are running a small to medium business in Australia, mums who are running a small to medium business in Australia. Now, that's narrowing it down, and that's awesome. But when it comes to saving you time, effort, and money, it's not enough, because I could have a room of 1,000 mums who are running their own small to medium business, and can guarantee that literally, again, only a handful of those would be your ideal client. So let's filter that out as best we can. So rather than having to entertain and feed 1,000 people just to win over those handful, why don't we think about what the traits are of those handful of people and woo them, charm them, speak their language, be where they're going to be. Sounds a lot easier, yeah? Oh, you might think it sounds harder, but it isn't. It's actually a lot easier. You don't want to work with everyone. Some people suck, just saying it. Some people suck to work with. And some people are actually really nice people, and they still suck to work with. So as you go along, you'll pick your ideal client to start off with. You might find that there's certain industries or traits or service offerings or communication styles that you realize are totally not on your ideal list. So keep evolving your ideal client until you are attracting those ones that make your life and your service delivery as awesome as possible. So not everyone's going to want you either. Some people aren't going to like your availability. They're not going to like your pricing. They're not going to like your brand colors. They might not even like your face. Who cares? The best thing you can do is not be worrying about those people, not having those people within your CMS, sitting there, or CRM, sitting there, taking up space and making you feel insecure. If people don't want you or like you, you don't need to worry about them. So that's more of a filter. Yay, okay? So we do need to think about who does want you. Why would they want you? Clearly, they're going to have a pain. And that business pain is what you are around to ease. That's what you're here for. Now, they're going to have a way that they prefer to work. They're going to have a certain personality type or brand that they are attracted to. They're going to have a certain budget. And they're also going to have certain knowledge or lack of knowledge around the services that you offer. There's going to be consistency. So being aware of those and filling those gaps and speaking their language is going to make your life a lot easier. So I've got a task for you, which hopefully will help you start thinking about who that ideal client could be for you. So it's at the bottom of our portal page. It's assignment 4. And what I want you to think about, and as I said at the start, you may be guessing, and that's okay. You can evolve and change this as you go. I want you to start thinking about what you might know or be guessing about your ideal client and start writing it down. So what are their pain points is the first thing. What is the thing that is making them go, oh my God, I need help with this, or this isn't working, or this just doesn't feel right, or I'm not getting the results that I'm looking for. What is their pain point? Be clear, be as succinct as possible. What do they need to know that they don't yet know? So do they know that you exist? Do they know how you work? Do they know what the next step would be to work with you? Do they know where to find you? Do they know about certain programs that you would have to use? Do they know that there is a potential solution at all, like another way of doing things? What are their knowledge gaps? What do they need to, where will they go to find answers to those questions? So are they more likely to be going into social media groups, or are they going to be blogging? Are they going to be on YouTube? Where do they hang out, or where do they go to find their solution? And what does their existing team look like? So do they have people who are on their team supporting them in any capacity? Do they have social media people or bookkeepers or marketing people or an existing VA? What sort of team do they currently have, and what is the capacity in which they work? So again, you may find that they don't have anybody and you would be their first person that they would work with, in which case the bits about what they need to know might be different because they've never worked with a virtual assistant before. So someone who has got a bit of a team and has been outsourcing previously, and they're a slightly bigger business, this is what we're talking about, small micro business compared to medium, they will know how to work with you potentially. So have a think about where you think their business is at and what that really genuinely looks like. And then again, what are their gaps? So what they need to know, where they're going to go to find you, and to then feel that confidence and trust. So how are you going to build that trust to then sign on with you? So that's assignment 4. Now, we don't want to have a service offering that's hugely broad either. So and I've spoken about services before, but when you're thinking about targeting your market and narrowing in who it is that you're trying to connect with, remember that most people are not going to resonate with someone who solves all problems. If you think about when you go into, have you ever gone to one of those takeaway restaurants where they offer fish and chips, Chinese food, pasta, lasagna type dishes, and then coffee? How good do you reckon their coffee would be? How good do you think their lasagna would be, right? So you think, okay, they're all food and they're targeting people within this area who are hungry, but could they possibly be really good at all of those food types? I'd start to be wondering and thinking this is not going to be great quality. So same with the virtual assistant services. When you start offering everything to everyone, you kind of dilute your power, you dilute the quality brand. So thinking about who you're targeting your service to is, again, increasing that kind of understanding and knowledge of who it is that I support and how I support it. And when you communicate that, people believe in your confidence and believe that you know what you're doing, whether you do or not. So thinking about this ideal client, but also focusing on this specific pain that they have and how you can ease them. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you. If you've got any questions, as you know, yell out.